At least developed one skin. Not bad. I guess the rest of you haven't. Out of those that raise your hands, how many do that as a business model? You sell your skins. So. That's about it. Okay. I'll tailor my presentation as such. Well, good morning. My name is Will Strohl. I'm a local developer of skins and modules within the Orlando area. I have also delved out to other areas, but obviously remotely. I don't really travel outside of here because I'd rather stay with my family. But basically, what I'm going to walk you through today is .NETNuke skinning. I'm not going to go into the nitty-gritty of how to do a skin from step one to the end, but I'm going to kind of show you what one looks like. And so you're going to see that it's basically just HTML. It's very easy to do. Something I tell people is, well, if you can use Photoshop, you have everything else set, because HTML is fairly straightforward. It's very simple. So doing a skin, I like to say, is just as easy as creating a single web page. From that point on, it basically becomes a theme pack, and you just propagate it throughout your site or sites from that point forward. So, that was messed up. Got to remember there's a wire here. Who am I? I'm Will Strohl. I'm the technology director at ResHub.com. We're an online travel site. We use .NETNuke for our website. So it pleases us greatly to be able to use it. That's my blog address, so that's where I put a lot of .NETNuke related stuff and sometimes my hobby stuff like photography. So I try to keep everything in tune with .NETNuke because I want it to be valuable to you. So like I said, I'm a module developer and skin developer in this area. I've been using .NETNuke since 3x, but I will tell you this, that in one of those books that gives a history of .NETNuke, how it came to be, and it came from the iBuySpy portal. And so basically, when iBuySpy came out, I created my own portal, put all my settings in it and everything, and then got some pats in the back, released it, everybody's happy. I had this huge intranet going, everybody's using it, it's using Active Directory, and .NETNuke 1 came out, and about a month later. So it would have been nice if we had a different timeline on that. So basically, I had been keeping an eye on it since then, and then when 3x came out, I was in a position to be able to use it for my projects and as well as my consulting, and it's awesome. Is there anybody here who hasn't used .NETNuke yet? Just a couple? Okay, but you were in last session, so you're familiar with it. That's good. I do want to mention that Orlando .NETNuke users group. If you're a local person, we would really love to see it at our meetings. Brian had mentioned in the last session that we switched to weekdays. That's going to be our next one. You can see on our website when that date and time is going to be. All right. Okay, so what is skinning? Basically, skinning is a term that's used to describe the process of putting a theme to an entire site. All right? It's nothing really more than that. .NETNuke has one of the most powerful and flexible systems out there as far as skinning a website or getting a theme across an entire website. If any of you had just used HTML itself and you ended up with 100 pages, you know how difficult it is to change the design of an entire website. And if you use any other CMS software providers out there, it's not that straightforward always to change the theme of the entire site. Sometimes it's very difficult. All right, so why is skinning important? Well, the one thing I really enjoy about it is it allows me to abstract the programming from the designing. All right? You don't have to have a designer to learn how to program a website. You don't have to have a programmer to learn to be a designer. You can abstract them completely. Have your designers do your website, have your programmers do the programming, and everything comes together very nicely in .NETNuke. Another thing is it allows the entire website to be managed very easily. Sometimes with just a couple clicks. And that's literal. That's not. I'm not like puffing it out, over exaggerating. Sometimes just as easily as a couple clicks. Something that's important to many people, such as ourselves who use .NETNuke as their main website, is product branding is very easy to be done. Because once again, you can put that in the designer's hands. They know all the colors those things are supposed to be. They know the sizes the things are supposed to be. They take those things very seriously. And it also provides a business model within .NETNuke. So people like me can sell their skins online and make a few extra bucks. Some people do it full time and they make a ton of money. Same with the modules that we're talking about skinning. All right, working with skin tokens. Skin token is basically a little piece of text that tells the skin where a programmable piece of content is going to be. So once again, your designer doesn't need to know how to program a text box. They don't need to program, what that text box does. They don't need to program anything like that. They can just put a placeholder in there, and then when the skin gets uploaded, the DotNetNuke skinning engine replaces that with the programmable content that's supposed to be there. All right. So basically, that's a skin token. Anybody confused by that? That's very easy. Logo. So wherever that goes, a logo is going to end up being there. Okay. So the designer doesn't need to know anything about server-side code. They don't need to know anything about what a user control is, how to program it, anything like that. So basically when the skinning engine goes through there, it sees that piece of text, the logo in the brackets, it replaces it with that page directive and the DNN logo server tag. All right? So anybody in here that hasn't used or been in a server-side programming environment, that probably doesn't look very easy. You're probably looking at that and going, ugh. All right? All right, first tip, the skin package file structure. I suggest always going into your design, as far as HTML is concerned, using an XHTML perspective. It'll make things a ton easier going forward. Even if you don't think it's important now, you'll find out later if you didn't do that, it was important. All right? That goes for your containers and skins. CSS. If you're not familiar with CSS, that's where people typically hold all their visual definitions of all your HTML elements. Use it extensively. Try to keep everything possible that you can out of the HTML. All right? Some people don't like doing it because sometimes it's just faster to just create it right in HTML. But if you have to manage anything later on, you're going to have to manage every instance of whatever skin file you have. And while it's not as difficult as, per se, having a full HTML website, it's still using time that you could be doing something else with. All right? The one thing that designers have a little bit of trouble with is the XML, because if you want to customize some of those tokens that you just saw, like there's logo, login, register, basically there's an XML file that tells what that token will have attributes of, like whether it needs to use a specific CSS class. So that's the one area where there needs to be improvement, and I think you'll find out later on that there will be. All right, so this is a basic skin package file structure. All right. You see on the left side, you got your skin zip. On your right side, you got your container zip. So everything that you need for your skins files is on the left side. So you have your HTML files that each dictate what a page will look like. You have your skin CSS. You have an XML file if you needed it, all right? And any images that you needed to be included into that. Screenshots and about we'll talk about later on. So basically, it's very easy to create a skin package. That's something that when I first started, and I later found out that many other people, when they first start, that's something that people are really confused about. Well, how do I create that package? And until you go and break somebody else's, you won't really figure it out. But basically, you do the same thing with containers and skins. You put them all into a skin file, and you have to make sure, or into a zip file, you have to make sure you name them something very specific. For the skin file, it's skins.zip. Containers file, containers.zip. All right. Now something else I kind of missed. You see the CSS file? In order for that CSS file to get inherited in the DotNetNuke, that also has to be a very specific name. As you see there, it's skin.css and container.css. All right. So what that allows you to do is whenever one of your skin file, or one of your skins are chosen to be the visual element of the page, or one of your containers are, DotNetNuke automatically knows to go, okay, I need that CSS file. And it pulls it into your page, so you don't ever have to worry about that. All right. Now, both of those zip files get put into a zip file that you see at the very bottom of the slide, container name.zip. So whatever you, or actually that's, I wanted to do that as a giveaway, actually. Sorry. It's supposed to be package name.zip. But basically, you do your two zip files, put them into the main zip file, and it's ready to go. At that point, you give it to somebody, they upload it to their website, they have the thing. And then they get just a couple clicks and go choose it. All right. Anybody have any questions about that structure? I'll tell you this, I forgot to say it in the beginning. I have some shirts to give away, so if you have a good question, I'll toss you out a shirt. They're very nice. Green Travel Hub. All right. Got to remember them tied down here, though. All right. So when I'm creating a skin, when you create more than one, sometimes you find yourself getting a little unorganized. So something I like to tell people is whenever you're doing skins, you want to have a folder set aside just for your skins. All right. And as you can see, the top folder there is called skins. And then